Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Arise discussion series. We are very pleased to have you join us today for the important session title Abuse is Not Love, Prevention of Sexual Violation and Relation within the refugee community. My name is Mohammed Hafzil, and I'm the honor to be your moderator today's discussion. I am the volunteer with SUAKA, and it's a privilege to be a part of a conversation that addresses such an urgent, sensitive issue. This event is co-organized by SUAKA and Yayasan Pulih and Sisterhood, aim to build awareness, prevention strategies, and collective support for survivors of sexual violation, particularly within refugee communities. Today, we are joined by two incredible speakers who will share expertise and insight on this issue. First, let me introduce our discussion speaker, Ms. Livia Iskandar. She is the psychologist and acting executive director of Yayasan Pulih, an organization dedicated to mental health, trauma recovery, and of psychosocial support. Welcome, Ms. Livia Iskandar. And the second one, Ms. Hala Al-huraibi. She is the operational manager and of the Sisterhood Indonesia, a community-led initiative focused on empowering refugee women and creating safer space for dialogue and support. We are very grateful to have you both of you here with us. From some several housekeeping before we begin, just a few housekeeping notes. The first, this event will be conducted in English. This discussion will be recorded, and recording will be uploaded to the YouTube. Please keep your microphone mute unless you are speaking. We encourage you to use the chat box for a question or a reflection, and there will be a question and answer session at the end. This is safe and respectful space. Please be mindful and compassionate in your comment. Without further, let's begin. I would like to first invite Ms. Livia Iskandar to share her presentation on understanding and preventing sexual violation in relation, especially in the context of refugee community. Please welcome Ms. Livia.
Okay, thank you, Hafzil as moderator. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the introductions, and I would just like to jump to the topic of abuse is not love, but I will give content warning. That content in this presentation may be triggering and emotionally challenging to some audiences. So please feel free to walk around or maybe also send a message to Chantika, our project officer, if in the event that you would need to have some support, we can actually then later on follow up on that. Yes, so thank you. Let's go to the next slide. Thank you, Almas. So perhaps we could start asking, and you can actually write down in the chat box on what is a healthy relationship and what does that mean to you. Perhaps yes. Perhaps you can. Oh no, we should. Oh, okay. We want to hear from participants first. What you think are healthy relationships? Perhaps you can write in the communicative. Thank you, Anga. Who else would like to? Yes, respect each other in every aspect. Yes, that's right. Any others? This is going to be interactive and participative discussion. So no pressure. All right, that's good. No pressure, no intimidation, trying to push somebody to do something that they don't want to support each other. Great, thank you. Maybe one more. Anybody else? How many participants do we have today? Okay, trust and equality. Great. Thank you. All right. So with that, let's see the next slide. Yes, so people have said about being, full of love, full of warmth and affection, enjoying time together as well as time apart. So there's like also me time, right? Not always the pressure, somebody said about pressure to always be together. I think in order for a relationship to grow, it's like Khalil Gibran has written in his poem about it's like having two trees kind of growing side by side, but not overshadowing each other. So you're enjoying time together and having ways to resolve conflicts. This is also very important. How do you actually resolve conflicts? In a perfect world, we would like to resolve conflicts in a civilized manner and not aggressively, but more assertively. To have trusting each other is very important, and then listening, understanding, accepting, and cooperating with each other. Great. Yes, so these are all signs of a healthy relationship. Next. So healthy relationships create a sense of security. Somebody also mentioned about equality, yes, because it's equal and reciprocal. So there's no party that tends to dominate the relationship. If I may go back to the analogy of the two trees, that is, both trees have the freedom to grow upwards, side by side, and not having one tree overshadowing the other one. All right, great. Next. Now, after talking about healthy relationships, let's now jump to what does an unhealthy relationship look like? Okay, let's look forward to anybody to write down in our meeting chat. Controlling, yes. Overprotective, yes. Anything with over is not good, yes. Yes, abuse, where abuse is involved, is not healthy relationship. Cheating, yeah. Cheating and then lying, not hiding the truth, and then usually one lie will lead to many other lies to cover the one lie. Okay, all right, so let's go to the next slide then. Thank you for all of that. So let's go into abuse, what is an abusive relationship is, because it leads to unhealthy relationships will lead to abusive relationships. And an abusive relationship is a pattern or behaviors of violence in a relationship that is used to establish power and control over a partner. And usually abusive relationships are accompanied by like verbal, undermining the other person, can also involve physical, kicking, slapping, pushing, and for example, and even sexual abuse. Great. So these are the signs of abusive relationships. We will then go into what are the signs? What are the signs if you are in an abusive relationship, and what can you do about it, to overcome that? Right. Let's go to the next slide. So this is the cycle of violence, of an abusive relationship. And this cycle of violence is what makes an abusive relationship not easy to get out of. A lot of people, I'm a psychologist, I have been concentrating on intimate partner violence for my dissertation. And thus you can see that a lot of times people stay for a long time in abusive relationships, and it's the cycle between peace and tension and then violence is a lot of times it's very, very fast. So usually there is tension. There's like when communication deteriorates, then the victims feel afraid and feel they must please the perpetrator because of intimidation, or it can actually be a threat to harm themselves or harm the other person. And then when the violence occurs, the perpetrators blame the victim and will use intimidation and also threaten to not report, for example, to deny that, no, that wasn't, a lot of times it's gaslighting. Psychological abuse can also be used in the sense that putting the blame on the victim, not denying that there is violence. Reconciliation, usually then the perpetrator will apologize. That's denial of the violence committed on the grounds of mistake. Many problems usually also can also then blame the victim, because what the victim did, that's why like causal effect kind of thing. And then comes the honeymoon phase. Now, the honeymoon phase can be like, the perpetrator pretends to make the victim happy so that the victim forgets the violence they have experienced. But it also can be that, like nothing happened, and then all that, gifts, flowers. I have a friend who's always gifted luxurious things by her husband. So unfortunately, she has a collection of bags, and so that kind of like is like how many times the husband has hit her. So that's and so she's unable to get out of this abusive relationship because of the cycle kind of goes faster and faster and faster, right? Okay, next. Here, okay. So let's go look at the root causes of gender-based violence. There's inequality is at the root of the problem. There's also power and control, also patriarchal culture. Those are the root causes, which can be then made worse when there is structural violence. For example, like there's unhealthy living condition, also lack of education, poverty, and I guess with life challenges that's happening. I can imagine with refugees, for example, that you have to be displaced and have to go to another country far away, and this country may not be your destination country, so that a lot of the problems are are there ingrained. And also what we just experienced, the isolation, quarantine, the physical distancing when COVID-19 hit us during 2020 till the end of 2021 for 2 years, for example. There's also, substance abuse, and when you're living in environment where there's full of conflicts, full of violent conflicts, full of armed conflicts, and so the conflicts kind of worsens everything, and there's lack of protection laws and everything. So these are all the supporting factors. And forms of gender-based violence, what we will be concentrating is the intimate partner violence, but others is domestic violence as an umbrella that happens in a household. A lot of times that we also have seen statistics about intimate others being the perpetrator of violence. So it's very hard to seek help because there's never a time alone, for example. And then also with trafficking, it's also gender-based violence in which you are promised to, on work, something that uses your intelligence and uses your all your capabilities, but in the end you are forced to be a sex slave or other things that's without your consent, and are kind of put into you are put in a situation in which you cannot escape. And with sexual assault, and then with female genital mutilation are other types of gender-based violence. Next. So let's talk about what is not a sexual violence. When there is mutual consent, and of course, this does not apply if the victim is a minor or a child. It's then the other person, the perpetrator, for example, will use tactics or manipulation to get the child to go, to do the things that they want to do. And then no trickery, persuasions, approaches that mislead or lower one's guard, and it's desired by all parties involved. And the parties involved are all of equal position, like social standing, intelligence, age, etc. It then can be sexual violence when it is manipulative. For example, when there's position abuse, persuasion, you have to manipulate the other, you trick the other person that feels like a trap, and be not pleasurable for all parties. And then there's also this power dynamics, more power to one the perpetrator holds the power, and then be controlling the situation, and things like that. When there's coercion, when one party is threatened, coerced, experience violence until sexual behavior happened. So it's painful, it's harmful, it's humiliating, and not wanted by one of the parties. And one of the parties is, there's that power and control, that kind of be in a coercion, coerce the other party. For example, that if a person is somebody who's like the boss, at work, then in order to have a performance evaluation, the the boss is wants something, but that's like when that is outside of an intimate relationship. And in an intimate relationship, it's more like when the other holds the in situations where there's visa involved, like when I was working in the United States, the visa is held by the staff of an organization, and so the spouse of that staff then gets to have a visa that's related to the person, and this a lot of times this is actually used as you know to threaten the other one not to report, and not to report whether to the police or whether to the organization. So that can actually happen that way. All right, next. Let me check on the time. How many more minutes do I have? Mas Angga, please write down in the chat. So abuse is not love. I was talking about there are 9 signs of intimate partner violence. What are they? Okay, great. Thank you. So let's go to the signs, the 9 signs of intimate partner violence. The first one is intimidation. It's when calling you crazy and then instilling fear, making you feel what is it, like you're second guessing yourself, and and using all that to make you feel scared, make you feel fearful of the of fearful that your partner will do something to harm you, for example. The next, number 2 is ignoring you on days they are angry, that like kind of not acknowledging that your presence, like really kind of looking the other way and not kind of acknowledging that you're present in front of them. Next, number 3 would be blackmailing you if you refuse to do something. So if you not in accordance to what that person wants, for example, then, oh, I will do this. We've also heard a lot of reports, and also on online gender-based violence, in which people in relationships, when they are in love, they can record each other, and when they're doing sexual activities and all that, or maybe one person is saying that, oh, I want to take a picture of you without any clothes on, and then when a conflict arises, then that is used to blackmail you into doing something that you don't want. I'm going to make this viral. I'm going to send this to your friends. And a lot of times this has the impact of a very bad impact, because we've had clients become very suicidal and really in distress because their intimate others have spread videos or compromising pictures on the internet. Next, number 4, manipulation to coerce you into doing or saying something. I think we've talked about this, kind of using tricks and using, to make you do something that you don't wish to do. Next, number 5, intrusion. Now, going through your phone, tracking your location. I've had clients in which they were unable to seek help. They were unable to go to us as psychologists because they found out that they're being tracked on their phone and so they will be kind of driven away from going to seek help, for example, because they know the partner knows exactly where they are at certain times. Yeah, next, number 6, humiliation, putting you down, kind of, so making you, and usually this is in front of other people, kind of making jokes or making you feel not smart, making you feel as if you're somebody who can't think and all that. Next, number 7, jealousy over everything you do. So like this way, it becomes like really irrational, in which you can't go anywhere without them. You can't meet your family, you can't meet your friends. Everything has to be kind of like you have to ask permission for everything that you do. Number 8, control, yes, over where you go and how you look. Also, then, oh, why are you wearing this clothes? You shouldn't wear this clothes. This makes you look bad and all that. Change clothes and where you going, and like really, really micro checking on your every detail. Yes, and lastly, number 9, is isolation. We talked about like, everything has to be done with them. So a lot of times victims are put in isolation, cutting you off from your friends and your family. You can't go anywhere without telling your partner. Next. So these are all the 9 signs of intimate partner violence, and this should be noted as red flags when hopefully no one is experiencing this, but in case you are, there is help available. Next. Oh, okay. So there's a quiz first. Next. Oh, no quiz? Maybe the quiz comes later, Mas Angga? Okay, all right. So yeah, let's talk about online gender-based violence. This could be cyberbullying, cyber stalking, online stalking. We talked about that. Excessive monitoring, stalking, bullying, humiliation, and unconsented pornography. We talked about, taking pictures and then kind of wanting to spread the pictures around, and also we have a form of what is it? Spreading out your personal information so people know things about you that you don't wish others to know. Yes, next. All right. So yeah, this is a World Health Organization definition that can cause long-term physical, mental, emotional problems that can lead to death. We talked about being suicidal. We talked about, okay, and these are all criminal acts. Like in Indonesia, there is actually a law of elimination on domestic violence, which also includes intimate partner violence, that actually protects everybody from violence in a relationship. Next. I think I'm just going to go very fast because I don't have very much. Okay, next. We know that a lot of times as we have a lot of cases that's reported to the National Commission on Violence Against Women, and these are all done in the personal sphere. Next. Okay. Okay, next. What should we do if we see one of these 9 signs? Prevention, you have to, I think this is good. Thank you for attending this session, because this is a way to educate ourselves to understand that anyone can be a victim or even a perpetrator. respect yourself and those around you, and for not normalizing violence. Violence is never okay. I always say that no is a complete sentence. No it doesn't have a comma. No is really, no is a no. And I think consent is something that's very important here. And if you are a victim of violence, that is not your fault. I know my time is almost up, so I'm just going to go very quickly, and later on, if you have questions, we can talk about it next. So, how to help a victim? You can be supportive, but also to understand that this is actually you can be supportive, provide help, but also you can actually guide them to go to a psychologist, to go to a lawyer for legal help or for psychological help. Avoid blaming, dismissing the victim story, sharing it with other people, or just say, oh, that's nothing, or like dismissive like that. Let's not do that. Okay, and the last slide, how to seek help. Oh, okay. The role of society, community. This is good that, we're having this socialization session, and it's good to not victim blame. It's good for everybody in the community to understand that that there can be done, something can be done. And next, okay, I don't think I have time for this, but this like basically not being dismissive when somebody is experiencing violence, and you can say you're not alone, ask what they need. This is very important, and not kind of give them a lecture on, oh, you should have done this and this and this. That's no, no, no. Okay, next. Um, okay, so victim blaming or making it be and then spreading the story around. Next, and I would like to end with where to seek help. I think with refugees, like certain organizations can provide help, and maybe we can actually talk about that, because there's like different help available for different types of refugees. So with that, I would like to end this presentation. Thank you very much, and I look forward to our discussion later. Thank you. I return this to Hafzil as moderator. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Livia, for your very, very insightful and thought-provoking presentation. Now, we'll to continue with Sis Hala, who will share her experience and perspective from the field, especially in empowering refugee women and responding to abuse. Please welcome Ms. Hala.
Hello everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Hala. First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting myself to present for the Sisterhood organization on behalf of the Sisterhood, standing in solidarity with displaced women survivors. And I am really happy to be with you here today. Yeah, my name is Hala. Originally, I am from Yemen, and I am a single mom for 4 kids. And currently, I am the operational manager for the Sisterhood. And I have been living in Indonesia since 2018. And today, I will speak to you about. I would like to speak to you about our organization, the Sisterhood, and how we respond to GBV. Next, please. So the Sisterhood, first, I would like to share a little bit about our organization. The Sisterhood began in 2018. In fact, it was founded in 8th March. It was 8th of March. It was International Women's Day. The Sisterhood is the first and only safe space for women refugees in Indonesia, led by women refugees for women refugees. And our goal to strengthen the sisterhood of women of all faiths, ages, nationalities, based on their shared experiences, interests, and concerns. And our purpose to restore a sense of hope, dignity, resilience, and purpose to all women refugees living a precarious life in Jakarta, especially the most vulnerable. And in 2023, we became a legal organization in Indonesia as Yayasan Sisterhood Persaudaraan Perempuan. Next, please. And here I would like to share with you the three major gaps we want to fill. First, livelihood and skill building. Educate women in different vocational training in online and in person. And the second point, like we advocacy and women empowerment. So raising awareness and taking action on women's rights, sexual and gender-based violence, SGBV, and SRHR, sexual reproductive health and rights. And the third point, and finally, leadership skills. The Sisterhood provides training for leadership development, especially refugee women and girls, to encourage participation in leadership and making decisions. Our management team is made up of all refugee women, and our classes also and activities are run by refugee women volunteers. So like usually 100 active members are engaged in our weekly online and offline activities since we were founded in 2018, and we have grown to over 1,200 members. We have 7 board members and 7 managers and 2 advisors, plus many more volunteers from different nationalities. Next, please. Yeah. So here, power of sisterhood. In 2021, we started an important conversation. Like, this is like just a point that I gonna explain it more with details then, but just like we are started in 2021, expanded focus to SGBV, sexual, gender and based violence, and SRHR, sexual and reproductive health and rights. And in 2022 to 2023, we started like Power of Sisterhood Phase 2. Then 2023 also like we published our survivor guides. And in 2023, we created our first cohort of Sisters in Justice. And in 2024, we started Unity and Friendship Calls. Yeah, and 2024, 2025, regional focal point discussion. And in 2025, our second cohort of Sisterhood in Justice. So sorry, just a minute. So in 2021, we started important conversation about the issues affecting women, such as SGBV, sexual gender-based violence, and SRHR, sexual reproductive health and rights. And in that first year, 87 women participated in online sessions focused on women's rights, health and safety, and legal protection. They also had the chance to ask GBV directly to a lawyer. Yeah, sorry. So, yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah. So we also created the Sisterhood advocacy team, Sisters in Justice, to strengthen our efforts and empower women in our community. And Power of Sisterhood Stage 2, after a year, we began to recruit members in becoming advocates, facilitators, speakers, public speakers. Women from the Sisterhood community joined to take action and to support survivors. So we started by researching how women, refugee survivors of GBV, can access services and support with the help of Al-Beha APEC, Jakarta, which is women's legal aid organization. And we also created the Sisterhood's Survivors Guide, which provides information on GBV support and services for women refugees in Indonesia. We have it in 4 different languages and have distributed over 800 guides, even in other cities. Then we trained our first group of Sister in Justice. At 17, it was that day 17 women who began by running GBV awareness workshops, and 156 women joined these workshops. Many of them for the first time having these important conversations on GBV and SRHR. Next, please. Yeah. So, Power of Sisterhood, it was our present day in 2024 to 2025. Today, as our Power of Sisterhood program is in its 5th year running, we are looking even wider to build solidarity and pathways to advocacy. We have held several unity and friendship calls with other women refugee-led organizations in Indonesia and Malaysia and Myanmar and Thailand and Bangladesh and India. So we are building the foundation for future collaboration, standing together and learning from each other. We also trained a new cohort of sisterhoods in justice this year. 15 women from the greater Jakarta area and an additional 23 women in other cities. So these 15 women have held online awareness raising sessions on GBV which were joined by over 135 women. Next. So, Sister in Justice. What is Sister in Justice? Sister in Justice, it is an initiative by the Sisterhood where refugee women lead a response to GBV in their communities. They become facilitators, interpreters, community responders, helping women and survivors of GBV. In addition to these awareness workshops, which spread important information throughout communities, our Sisters in Justice also accompany women during hospital visits, support them in finding safe housing, and in reporting GBV cases to the police. In this year, only over 80 refugee women received help from these sisters. Next, please. So lastly, we continued also to share important information and knowledge by published SRH brochure in Farsi, Arabic, and Somali. These brochures help people understand important topics about their bodies and health. They include easy to read information on family planning and birth control, period and how to manage them, and pregnancy and how to stay healthy, protection from infections, and where to get help and services nearby. So we choose Farsi, Arabic, and Somalian, so more people in our communities can read and understand the information in their own language. The brochures are written in clear, simple words and have pictures to make them even easier to understand. Our goals is to help everyone feel informed, confident, and safe when it comes to their health. So key learning in what I am explaining about, or in our organization's goals. Having the right information and support can give a survivor the courage to shift from silence to action. And information is power. The awareness we raise has helped women to recognize situation of GBV and understand what their options are, empowering their survivors' journey. And knowing our rights giving women the confidence to seek justice for themselves or advocate for others experiencing GBV. Next, please. So thank you. Thank you for listening. And this is our website in our Instagram and Facebook and email. And thank you so much for listening.
Thank you very much, Ms. Hala, for your powerful and inspiring contribution. Now the moment is waiting for. Now we will open the floor for the question and discussion. If you have any question for our speaker, please feel free to raise your hand or type them in the chat on the chat box, and I will help to facilitate it. I will help to facilitate. You can guys ask regarding the about abuse law or something related to refugee. And Mrs. Livia have the quiz, right? For the participated.
Oh, I think Chantika has the
Oh,
has the Chantika, do we have the quiz? But can before that, I would like to say my appreciation to Sisterhood, to Sister Hala, and all the sisters. I think it's amazing work that you're doing, and please let us know if we can assist Sisterhood in any ways, because we, Yayasan Pulih, would be very happy to provide assistance. I saw that you are working with the legal aid APIC, and Pulih and APIC work very closely together. So them on the legal side, we are on the psychological side. So please let us know how we can assist. Thank you, and I think you're doing amazing work.
for quiz, maybe we can reverse to Q&A session about. Uh, Now we will wait for at least 3 minutes. Maybe you can chat in the chat box, or you can raise your hand. I will facilitate to you guys.
Yes, but I also want to kind of, I think Chantika has sent the QR code for the free counseling session at the Yayasan Pulih for the participants of this Zoom, this online session. And so you can also register yourselves in a sense that if you need some psychological support from us. Thank you.
That's very insightful. You can guys scan for your mobile phone. It's already sent by Kak Cantika and the chat box. Okay, we were waiting for your any question regarding about abuse or about the refugee, regarding about. Okay. Mm, well, we will wait for 2 minutes. Is that okay? Mbak Livia and Miss Livia and Sis Hala. Okay. Maybe you can unmute Miss Anis. Miss Anis.
Yeah, sure. Hi, everyone. Good afternoon. First of all, thank you so much for this meeting. It's amazing. And I'm really sorry I was stuck and outsides were raining. So I really joined really late. I just want to know before I didn't hear any thing about this new Yayasan, which is Yayasan Puli. So as I know just right now that this organization, the Yayasan, have some psychologist session for the refugee or any. I don't know, it's especially for home, or including refugee or not. Or can you say what services you have for the refugee in Indonesia? Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Anis. Do I answer now or later?
Oh, we will wait for the
Other
second
questions?
first.
Oh, okay.
The question first. We got a question for the text box. That's my question. Direct to Miss Hala. As you mentioned, advocacy and women empowerment earlier. Are there any contribution or a collaboration with the local government? If so, what they're doing to support this movement? Thank you. Uh,
Sorry again.
okay, it's already in the chat box. The question direct to Miss Ala, as you mentioned, mentioned advocacy and women empowerment earlier. Are there any concrete contribution or collaboration with the local government? If so, what are they doing to support movement? Thank you. They said from Trevin Caroline. Do we wait for okay? Maybe we can answer the question first, or Miss Livia, the question from Miss Anis.
Yes. All right. I would like to answer Sister Annie's question. Yes. So Yayasan Pulih is a foundation to provide psychosocial services to especially for victims of violence, also mental health and psychosocial support for humanitarian workers and human rights defenders. So we have in our registration about 40 psychologists, but the ones who are active are about 25. And there was a QR code in which you can scan and then register yourself in the case that you would need some psychological support. And under this program, it's for free sessions, and not but because not all of our psychologists speak English, you need to say, you know, if you are a refugee from which country and all of that, so that we will then pair you with a psychologist who speaks English, unless there is an interpreter. If there's an interpreter, then that would work also. And many years ago, our foundation was actually implementing partner to UNHCR for 4 years, working to provide support to refugees in Indonesia. But after the 4 years, we did not continue providing support, implementing partner to UNHCR, but we continue to provide psychological services from organizations such as Jesuit Refugee Services or CWS. We have agreements with them in which they would refer refugees to support. I would also like to say something about until last year, I was vice chair at the Victim Witness Protection Agency, in which it's a state funded agency to provide protection for victims of violence, as also victims of sexual violence who experience threat and intimidation to continue their case in the criminal justice system. And you can actually ask for protection from this LPSK in English, and Indonesian is LPSK. You can actually ask for protection in the case that, and we've provided protection to refugees for cases in which there have been intimidation and towards them, for them who wish to continue the case into the criminal justice system. And so that is also another option in the case that if it's a domestic violence case, intimate partner violence case, or a sexual violence case in which there is life threatening, or there is a possibility that you cannot continue because of the threat, you can actually access this service. So I will return to Brother Hafzil. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Livia, for the answer the question from Miss Anis. Miss Anis, do you have any follow-up question? Or
Yeah, I have question, but if you want to answer the second question,
Uh,
I will.
is it some context with the question before, a follow-up question, or
Yeah,
is it a new question?
the question is from both sides, Sisterhood and also Yayasan Pulih. So,
Uh,
if you allow me, I will ask the question. So now we have two organization or foundation, Sisterhood and Yayasan Pulih. So one of them have services psychologist, and the other have like interpreter service. So, for example, and also they mentioned that this session or psychological session would be in English. It would not be in English, most of them, or we can say some of them. It would be in Bahasa. So, and as we know, most of the refugee are not able to speak Bahasa. So, in this case, Sisterhood will provide the interpreter for this info session or for this session or not for the refugees. Thank you.
this question, I will clarify the question. Will be speaking about the bilingual. Some Yayasan will not speak in the English. I will be speak bahasa. So you concern about the speaking and bahasa. So uh, one of Miss Hala or Miss Livia will be answer the question regarding about the regarding about the provide the psychological for the refugee.
Okay, thank you.
Well, in Puli, maybe Sister Hala, I will answer first. In Yayasan Puli, we do have psychologists who speak English. So, but you need to identify yourself. I mean, you can say that you would need somebody who speaks English, and so that we can take it from there. But we've also had cases. I think we've been referred cases also, refugee cases in which there was no interpreter available. And so I think they were using ChatGPT for interpretations. But I think it would actually be better if you require a psychologist who speaks English, and also that yes, and also I think I did mention, because Puli has a cooperation agreement with Jesuit Refugee Services and with CWS, and so we also they refer refugees to us as well. But I am unsure of which organization provides which kind of support. So maybe from SUAKA, Brother Hafzil or Brother Angga can actually enlighten us on how does that work. Because but to be clear, that we have actually provided services under the two organizations that I mentioned. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Livia or Miss Hannah. Do you have additional for the answer that question, Miss Hala?
Sorry, I would like to answer the question that Trevin Carlin asked.
Okay.
Are there any concrete contributions or collaborations with the local government? Yes, they can like help us maybe by joining us as a volunteer, for example, by teaching as a teacher's mainly.
Okay, so the local government helps the sisterhood by teaching it and the other way. Now we got at least three questions. The first question for Nazira Amini. Hello, I would like to ask that do you have any support for those refugee who are not support with the IOM or other organization or specialization woman? I would like to ask. Do you have? Okay, this question will be mic to Miss Hala. I would like to ask you that you have any support for those refugees who are not support with the IOM or the other organization. Miss Hala?
Yeah, sorry.
This question will maybe would like to you direct to you. I would like to ask. Nazira asked that I would like to ask that do you have any support for those refugee who are not support with the IOM or other organization, especially women? Okay, maybe you can answer the question.
Can I answer it then?
And the question for the Gandhi Swardani. Thank you for insightful answers presentation. I would like to ask question. How do feminist group from different country and a local NGO help the refugee women in Jakarta who have experienced gender-based violence? Do they do they work well with the refugee led group like the Sisterhood community or their conflict? The first question. And the second question, do this effort help to change the idea about the how women should stay silent or feel ashamed after experiencing violence? Maybe the first question will be direct to Miss Hala, and the second question will be direct to Miss Livia. Do this effort help to change the idea about the how a woman should stay silent or feel ashamed after experiencing violence? Uh, Miss Halam, maybe you can answer the first question.
So, for Nazira Amini,
Of Nazira and Gedi Swardani.
for Gandhi Swardani,
The first question, yeah.
yes. So yes, yeah, we have a relationship. Thank you. Yes, you can join. We have relationship for NGO like LHB, LWH. Jakarta Feminist is good to helping us. So no conflict we experienced so far.
Uh, okay, so thank you, Miss Hannah. Maybe we can move for the next question. The question from Fahma. I have the question for Miss Livia. This Miss Livia question for you. If a review want to have a session with the psychologist, how and where can they apply? Do they need to pay for it, or is it available for free to refugees? Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Fatma, for the question. Yes, under the QR code, under this program, the Abuse is Not Love program, it will be free. But if it's under the JRS or CWS, they will actually pay for it. And I would like to also express that we would be very happy to meet with the Sisterhood committee members, so that we can maybe have a discussion on the ways that we can actually support Sisterhood in terms of the psychosocial support. And should you need resource person from psychological perspective to talk about mental health issues and like support group in the mental health issues. And maybe that's something that we can actually talk about, as well as kind of combining that with maybe if you have income generating projects, we can then join in in a support group format, so that it will be kind of two things under one go. So you can actually train for income generating activities, but at the same time also taking care of your mental health. We've actually done that in many places for internally displaced, especially IDPs, Indonesian IDPs. We've worked in Aceh post tsunami as well. We've also worked in Ambon post conflict. And in Aceh, we just recently in January, we provided support to the humanitarian workers working with the refugees, the Rohingya, especially the Rohingya refugees, so that to provide the mental health support to the humanitarian workers who are working. So we can work directly with the victims of violence, but we can work as resource persons to organizations such as Sisterhood, but we also can support the humanitarian workers.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Livia. Do you have any follow-up question, Fahma?
Yeah, I do. Thank you, Mrs. Olivia. Thank you again for your presentation, both of you. Again, I have another question. Is there a specific training or workshops that you give refugees community? And if you give it, what kind of the main thing you will help you for the refugees? I hope my question will be clear. Thank you.
Okay, Ms. Livia, or probably you can answer that question.
Yes. Yeah, I think, Fahma, it will be good to have a discussion on it first, so that we can understand better in more depth of the needs of refugee women. And then we can then go forward with some of the topics that we can agree on, that we can provide to support refugee women. But I think it's important to kind of know each other, better, and to understand the needs better before we can determine what kinds of support or assistance we can provide. So I would suggest that we can follow up this session with maybe a face-to-face meeting. If you are around Jakarta, we can come over to where you are, or you can come over to where we are, and then we can start from there.
Thank you.
Yeah, can I answer? Sorry, Nazira Amini. For supporting the refugees, especially women refugees, they are under IOM or not, but just like we can support them by we requesting them to join our classes by online and offline classes, and also by joining our awareness stations. And for yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Hala. Maybe it will be the last question, addiction from Miss Livia. The question from the Gendis Swadani. There is two question. Maybe Miss Livia will be addiction for the answer that question regarding how do feminist group from the different countries and the locality or help refugee women in Jakarta who experience gender-based violations, and do they work well with the refugee-led groups like the Sisterhood community, or are there conflict? Do this effort help to change the idea about how a woman should stay silent or feel shame after experience violence?
Yes, I cannot answer that question right now because we have not work with refugees since a long time ago.
Okay.
We've dealt with individual cases which are referred to us. So yeah, so right now it's mostly individual cases that are referred, and they are not only women refugees, but also male refugees. But specifically with women refugees, we need to, I think, you have all these different classes and all that. And maybe then we can decide which classes that our psychologists can be asked or invited to provide support in. Most of the time, the people come actually to our office in South Jakarta for counseling sessions. So, but we can also do outreach when there is a need for it.
Okay, thank you, Miss Livia. I think the question and answer is already done. Or maybe Miss Livia and Miss Hala will be give some closing statement or concluding about this serious discussion. Uh, maybe maybe for Miss Livia first.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So yes, so we talked about the 9 signs of abuse, of when the 9 signs of when you're experiencing intimate partner violence, to be so that you understand there are these signs, and also if you do need to seek help, there is help out there. And so I would suggest that I think better collaboration between different organizations should be put in place. For example, with the legal aid APIC, we refer cases to each other. So I think maybe we can actually add the sisterhood to be part of the support system for refugee women. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Livia and Miss Hala. Concluding or for some closing remarks.
Thank you so much. And what I want to share is like, yeah, thank you, Sister Livia, for sorry, sorry, I can't get my words. So yeah, what I want to say is, I know this is not GBV. It's not like, it's not easy, but it's so hard. But we would like to do our best to be like the responders for them, for helping them, and we would like to each woman having or having this situation, or she is like facing GBS, like she can join maybe our awareness stations. She can like we would like to raise her knowledge, and we, yeah, that's it. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
A huge thank you once again to our speaker, Miss
Yeah.
Livia Iskandar and Miss
Yeah.
Hala
And
Al-huraibi.
yeah, and we will contact and have a face-to-face soon. Thank you, dear Livia.
Okay, thank you once again to our speaker, Miss Livia Iskandar and Miss Hala Al-huraibi for your time, wisdom, and courage. We hope today session spark more conversation, action, and collaboration to prevent sexual violation and create safer communities for all. Uh, on behalf of the SUAKA and Yayasan Pulih, by Yayasan Pulih, Sisterhood, thank you for being here. Please stay safe and take care.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Winda, can you help to stop the recording and the live streaming?
Okay, Kak, wait.